Hello, everyone. My name is Mohamed Smirkou. I'm from Morocco. I'm a doctoral candidate in the field of second language phonology acquisition. So it's my privilege to contribute to this event by talking about the application of Praat software program on teaching English pronunciation. So in this presentation, I'll show how Praat software program can develop learners pronunciation and hence promote learning autonomy. This presentation is based on a study that I conducted. So this presentation is outlined as follows. I'll provide a sketchy overview about the theoretical framework adopted in the study. Then I'll move to present how Praat software works. Then I'll move to talk about the problem addresses in the study and the research questions the study tries to answer. Then I move to provide or to present the findings and discuss them. And finally, we shall discuss the pedagogical implementations of the findings of this study. So English pronunciation is traditionally taught through drills and hinges on teachers' feedback on learners' errors. Alternatively, the use of software programs of pronunciation opens up analysis to the visual medium and visual measurement of acoustic properties. The availability of multimedia and computer-assisted language learning, or CAL, has led to a growing interest in ways of improving second language learners' pronunciation skills using computer-based techniques. Generally, designing authentic instructional computer programs may motivate language learning and ease the learning process. It may pave the way for more flexibility, understanding the global role of language, and eliminating psychological barriers. That is, computerized learning can be achieved inside and outside the classroom in a relaxed atmosphere as it fosters new strategies for learning. For example, it may create room for learning interaction with the materials. This interaction can be easy and tangible. Using computers facilitates language teaching and learning. So by implementing CAL, foreign language teaching will be more effective and sufficient. In addition, the use of the computer can have a beneficial effect on enhancing students' achievement. Moreover, the use of CAL is expected to enhance the development of language skills. Most importantly about CAL is the fact of satisfying and meeting learners' different learning styles. For example, slow learners or those who need to be presented to an item more than one time, they can go back and be exposed to it at any time. So students will have access to teaching materials and can learn at their own pace. Note that the use of CAL does not eliminate the role of the teacher, as teachers can help students focus on the primary goals of communicating and learning language. CAL can also open up opportunities for teachers and students to experience the world beyond the classroom and open doors to communication, understanding, and interaction. CAL specifically helps detect pronunciation errors in the utterances produced by language learners, diagnose the types and locations of pronunciation errors, and then provide corrective visual feedback and operational guidance for improvement. So CAL systems that focus on speech and pronunciation are called computer-assisted pronunciation training CAPT systems. With CAPT, learners are exposed to oral demonstrations, CAPT provides visual feedback to students and also virtual interaction with native speakers. So there are two ways to build an ABED system. One is based on ASR technology and the other is based on acoustic phonetics. The present study used Praat software program because it provides acoustic phonetic description using technology and hence combines the two ways to build an APED system. Praat was developed in 1995 by Boris Mandwinik, and it's a free computer software program for speech and analysis. So it opens up an analysis to the visual medium and visual measurement of acoustic properties by visualizing speech and word stress, particularly in this presentation. So these are some of the many institutions which have at least once used or using Praat as a part of the teaching curricula. For example, field methods at the University of Oklahoma, graduate phonetics at the University of Pennsylvania, University of Colorado, to name but few. So now let's move to see how students can use Praat. So first, it's freely downloaded. So after downloading Praat and opening it as in figure 1, so there will be a window as in figure 1. So the first step is recording. Students can record speech by selecting record monosound or stereo from the new, so from the new menu of the Praat object window. Then a window will pop up as in figure number 2. So after saving the recording, to the Praat object window by clicking on Save to the List and Close in the sound recorder windows, the acoustic signals is computing by clicking on the edit or view and edit button. Praat then can effectively visualize the acoustic differences between stressed and unstressed syllables. They differ in vowel duration, quality, pitch, height, and intensity. Obviously, in the first example, record stress falls on the second syllable. In re, the pitch is falling down, while in chord, the pitch is rising, especially in the part of the vowel. The stressed syllable is higher than the stressed one, and the duration of the second syllable chord is longer and than the first example. In record, stress falls on the first syllable. The duration of the first syllable re is much longer than the one in the first example. The pitch is rising in the first syllable, whereas in the second syllable chord, the duration is shorter and the pitch is falling down. So this study tries to answer the following questions. Can Praat enhance teaching stress through providing visual feedback? If yes, how? Is there any significant difference between the experimental group and the control group in the post-test scoring? So this study attempts to address the problem of word stress among Moroccan learners. There is a common consensus among teachers that learners' speech is Moroccan Arabic-like. Stress is significant in speech recognition, and stress errors can cause communication breakdown. Consider these two examples. While stress in one changes the word class in the noun increase with stress on the first syllable, the same word is is a verb when stress falls on the last or the second syllable. Increase. In the second example, on the other hand, not only does stress change word class, but also word meaning. That is to say, it is information bearing. When stress falls on the last syllable, the word means pleased, and content means subject or, and content with stress on the first syllable, it means subject or amount when the first syllable is stressed. And sans pronunciation is the most challenging aspect of mastering foreign language. There is a dire need for studies in this respect. So this study intends also to promote the significance of knowledge awareness, phonological awareness in teaching. Consider this example, which is taken from a textbook that I'm adopting in teaching ESP. In this task, students are required to underline the stressed syllable. However, in this list, two words which are rice and cheese cannot have stress because they are monosyllabic words, and hence they do not track stress. Having phonological awareness, a teacher can identify such mispresentations and predict some alternative solutions. So this study tries to testify the following hypothesis. The null hypothesis: there is no significant effect of Praat on Morocco learners' English stress placement development. Alternative hypothesis: there is a significant effect of Praat on Morocco learners' English stress placement development. This study tries to meet the following objectives: to explore how visual feedback promotes teaching pronunciation, word stress in particular, and to elucidate how Praat improves learners' suprasegmental, more particularly word stress. 40 Moroccan learners participated in the study. The subjects under investigation are semester 1 students at Tofail University. They were randomly split into two groups: the experimental group, which received the treatment teaching using Praat, and the control group, which did not. To ensure the homogeneity of the samples under investigation, they were administered an oral multiple choice test that elicited their intuition about English stress. After the pretest, the experimental group was first trained on how to use Praat to measure stress and visually monitor their English stress development. Then the group was taught English stress rules using Praat. The researcher presented the same materials to the control group through repetition and pattern practice. To determine whether sample data has been drawn from a normally distributed population, we ran two normally tests: Kolmogorov, Smirnov, and Shapiro-Wilk. The result is presented in table 1. The result obtained from table 1 shows that the score distribution is normal. The significance is greater than the p-value. To identify if there is any significant difference between the two groups in the pre-test scores, and also to ensure homogeneity, an independent sample t-test is run. The result is shown in this table. It indicates an equal value distribution of t 1.265, which is less than the critical t value. It shows that there is no significant difference between the control group and the experimental group in terms of the pre-test scores. And to see if this difference in post-test scores is significant, an independent sample t-test is run. The result is presented in this table. It shows that the observed t-test 27.5 0.12 is greater than the critical t-value. Therefore, the groups are significantly different. The result indicates that SIG two-tailed score is 0.004, which is much less than the significance value. Thus, the null hypothesis is rejected in favor of the alternative hypothesis. That is to say, there is a significant effect of Praat on improving students' stress, because there is a statistically significant difference in the mean of the groups. So this is an illustration of the stages that learners go through to learn or to develop their word stress pronunciation using Praat. So learners first record their speech and compute it. Subsequently, they receive the acoustic representation as in this pictogram. So the next stage is to analyze their speech and compare it to native speakers' utterance. If it matches with native speakers' utterance, they retain it. Otherwise, they move to stage number 3, where they have to identify their problems. And then in the last stage, they self-correct their utterance and until they reach the optimal output by comparing it with native speakers. Note that this procedure is cyclic. That is to say, learners keep recording, analyzing speech, reflecting on their performance, and self-correcting it until their output is optimized. So the utility of technology in education has motivated research to explore how computer-assisted teaching facilitates learning and teaching processes. COL has modernized the way that students learn and teachers teach pronunciation. The present study addresses the current tendency of computer-aided teaching of pronunciation, particularly word stress. It proposes the use of Praat to effectively teach pronunciation, which is assumed the most challenging aspect in mastering a language. Results indicate a statistically significant improvement in word stress. This study provides further pedagogical implementation to instrumentally teach aspects of suprasegmentals using Praat. It shows how making use of Praat, teachers can pinpoint learners' problems efficiently. Praat also fosters learners' autonomy by recording and analyzing their own pronunciation. Hence, they can monitor their own progress. It encourages learners to practice pronunciation in a free stress environment. The finding of this study support the alternative hypothesis, that is to say, there is a positive effect of the application of Praat on improving students' pronunciation. The experimental group and control group are significantly different. The experimental group that used and was instructed through Praat outperforms the control group that was instructed and taught traditionally using drills and drills and exercises. The findings of this study can help learners develop their pronunciation through Praat. The use of Praat personalizes learning experience. Learners can build more in-depth understanding of word stress themselves. It increases self-autonomy and creativity. The results of this study can also help teachers design more interactive and engaging lessons which visualize word stress. Most of the students are visual learners. Thus, teachers can use Praat to facilitate teaching pronunciation by providing visual feedback. The findings can also help instructors graphically present phonetics and phonology visually and in a systematic and more engaging way. Praat actually provides clear evidence supporting what is heard and what is said by acoustic analysis, because the data is visually interpreted using spectrograms and wave forms. And here I come to the end of this presentation, and thank you so much for being so attentive.